This is the state of affairs of my tent this morning. Everything is wet and extremely dirty. Oy, oy, oy. So these are my hands and my legs just from cleaning up my tent. I'm thinking my tent is not allowed in my bag today. It'll be on the outside. Good morning. It is 6:15. Getting a bit of an early start today because it's a race against the time. The Paradise Valley Cafe, which we pretty much all want to eat at, is closing at 3. So we have to make the about 12.5 miles before that point, which should be pretty easy. I think we did 12 miles by about 1 yesterday. So there's gonna be a lot of people around me because our campsite was really full last night, and I think everyone has the same plan as me. Yesterday was so crazy. To me, I mean, you know my trail name, Nimbus, so for me it wasn't even type 2 fun, it was type 1, like, this is awesome, because it was such a big storm. However, it was just me and 2 other people who had made it to the campsite in time in order to set up our camp. Everybody else was caught in it, so I think they didn't have nearly as much fun walking in that hail. The hail got pretty big at times, like the, let's see, like your thumb, the first piece of your thumb, that's how big the hail pieces were at times, so definitely wouldn't have wanted to walk in it. That being said, my tent is way dirtier than any of theirs, I think, because I had a river underneath it and I was camped on sand, and sand is nice and easy when it's dry and very sticky when it's wet. So I'll need to do a yard sale at some point today and put everything out and try to dry it as best as possible. But for now, gotta make some miles. The trail is definitely a little washed out after the rain yesterday. Makes it a little hard to follow, except for there's people in front of me, so I can look at their footsteps. Even cooler is looking at the deer footsteps, which I didn't even know there wasn't in the desert. And then I thought I saw some more, probably coyote footprints, but now I don't see them anymore. Mostly I just see human, and then deer wandered off over there. Cool. I haven't decided if this is a positive or a negative yet, but because I don't have gut hook right now, I don't know the elevation profile ever, so I can't dread it, but it also sometimes surprises me. So today apparently we're going up a lot, like a lot, steeply. So I'm pretty positive we are going up and over this mountain in the next mile or so. So that'll be fun-strenuous. Also, I didn't sleep very well last night. Just woke up a ton, way more than usual. Mostly due to various wildlife, or not so wildlife. Not that I was scared, but I would just wake up. So I think I need to sleep with earplugs again. There were some coyotes howling, some owls hooting, some dogs barking. I think there's a nearby farm, like maybe a mile away, but sound really travels in the desert. And then roosters that decided to crow at like 3:30, 4 in the morning, and at that point I was pretty much done sleeping and I like dozed a little bit, but yeah. My grandpa, German grandpa, has a saying, Leute, die pfeifen und Hähne, die krähen, die soll man alle die Necke umdrehen, which doesn't rhyme in English. There's a little crass, but translates to people who whistle and roosters that crow, just wring all of their necks. Definitely felt that a little bit at 4 a.m. in the morning when that rooster kept crowing. It came from that side. Oh joy. even higher mountains to climb up over the ones I just did. I'm not really complaining. It's just, now that I don't have the GPS, it's a surprise. Sometimes that's a little bit more of a negative than if I know it's coming. I think I've reached the source of the roosters and dogs. First water cache of the day. I don't really need anything, but I think I'll top off my drinking water, like grab a quarter liter, half a liter. Thank you so much, you guys are awesome. So I realized I never took ibuprofen this morning, so I took some at the water cache, but my feet have been okay. So I'm really hoping, I'm trying not to be too hopeful because then my hopes will be crushed. I'll be even sadder, but I'm hoping that I've kind of turned a corner somehow and that my feet are a little better now, just because of how yesterday went and how today I just did 4 miles in like an hour and 15 minutes, hour and 20 minutes, and it didn't really hurt that much, and I hadn't even had ibuprofen yet. So hopefully it's definitely a race to paradise. Valley Cafe. It's funny, I think it's like I'm gonna make it easy, but I can't help myself from constantly doing the math in my head, figuring out exactly what my mileage is, how many I still have to go. So I think what I'm calculating is that I'll get to Mary's, which is mile 6 for me, at 9 a.m., which would have been slightly less than 3 hours of hiking, plus the break that I just took, including the break that I just took at the water cache. So then I only have 7 miles to go after 9 a.m. So I should be getting there by like 1 at the latest, depending on what my breaks look like. So it should be easy. And yet I still do the math, crunching the numbers, constantly checking, because I want that Paradise Valley Cafe meal so badly. I am within 0.3 of Mary's cache, and I am so hungry. This is the longest I've waited for breakfast. Made it to Mary's place. I'm using the horse tie-up place to dry out my gear because it is still so wet. So very wet. So Mary's place was very lovely. Thank you so much. Has water. It has a toilet. Well, you know, a hole with a nice little, it's called the mirror drawn, which I think is hilarious. And it even has a shower where you can, like there's a little jug with a nozzle that you can put water on yourself, like it slowly drizzles down. And I took one. I didn't take a real shower, like I didn't use soap, but like for 2 minutes, like rinsed myself off. But it felt great to get rid of some of that grime and sweat and dirt and stuff. So it was awesome. So I took kind of long break. So it's 10 o'clock now. Kind of a really long break. Oopsies. So now I gotta push some miles. Man, it is really, really, really hot, which is making pushing hard to Paradise way harder. Got some very pretty cumulus clouds though unfortunately none of them in front of the sun. Alright, it's currently 11 and I have 4 more miles to go to get to the road towards Paradise Cafe. I want to be at the road at a minimum of 2, so I have like half an hour to figure it out and then half an hour to eat because it closes at 3, which means I have 3 hours to do 4 miles, which should be easy, except for I'm definitely also pushing pretty hard right now and definitely starting to hurt a little bit and feeling like I can't take breaks because that'll push my miles per hour down too far. It's definitely an interesting experience pushing for a goal like this. I mean, I've done this before, but it's interesting because on the one hand, it's a really like rewarding endeavor of just like you push for this goal and you need to make this time limit, and then you do it and it feels great and yay. But at the same time, it's like you ignore your body a little bit because you're like, I have to do this. So I'm trying to find that easy medium. I've definitely slowed down. I think I'm doing more like 2 miles per hour. So if I do that, then I'll get there by 1 and I'll still have lots of time. But my foot's also starting to hurt a little bit. It's honestly not that bad. Like, it's better than the last 2 days. So I still think it's getting better, but I'm also like heedlessly ignoring it a little bit. But also, I might not have mentioned, but it is really, 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 really hot today. Maybe our hottest so far. So that's making things interesting as well. Stupid taking that shower. I mean, it wasn't a real shower. It was like a 2-minute rinse, but still it was stupid. Because even though I got rid of the dust, I am way more sweaty now than I was before, and was always going to be sweaty. I'm on an incentive-based brake system, so I put myself on it. So once I've hiked a mile, then I can have as much as I want of the rest of that half an hour to take a break. So, and I was a little bit behind, so now I've caught up to that system. So I had to work a little extra hard for this half hour, but I basically have 5 minutes now that I can take a break, and then I keep hiking. And when I've hiked another mile, then I can take another break within that half an hour for however long I need. I might not always need it. This is my first break in like 3 or 4 miles, so I will enjoy these 5 minutes that I'm allowed to have. I'm putting in the work today. Like, this is hard work. Like, I am at top cardio capacity because it's not just the miles, it's the terrain is pretty hard. Like, it's steep up and steep down and very, very hot. So like, I am working hard today. Pulling out the big guns to get this done. Spotify is, see, I can't even think, I'm working so hard. Spotify is geared up. Trail correspondence is turned on, and I'm gonna podcast some miles. Okay, I'm within 2 miles now, and I have 2 hours to get to the road at a reasonable amount of time that I would get to the restaurant in a reasonable amount of time in order to eat. So I've slowed way down. I don't think I'll take another break for those 2 hours, but 2 miles. But I'm okay with going way slower to try to help my feet a little bit. Proud of myself though. I'm doing a lot of good work. Flowers are so beautiful and smell so good. I'm climbing around here and then climbing up. Alright, I have half a mile to go and it is 12:30. So I accidentally pushed a little harder than I even wanted, and my feet are not happy with me, but I'm really hoping it's just a like tired pain instead of a hurt pain, and we'll find out tomorrow morning. Sometimes you just gotta push. I don't feel too bad about it. I mean, they hurt, but I think after a break. Waiting for a ride to the cafe.
This company and 2 others.
Yeah, mine was getting really low. Okay, I stopped filming for a bit, but basically we went to the Paradise Valley Cafe, hang out, ate. When we finished eating, we looked at the water report and saw that for the next section to Idlewild, it's horrible. Like, all of the water that exists is always a mile off trail, which means you're doing 2 miles to get water. So then we were stressing out. And then we went back and forth. Do we camp at Paradise Valley Cafe and then do get to Idlewild in 2.5 days? Or do we push a few more miles and then after that get to Idlewild in 2 days? Plus, oh, I forgot to mention the elevation is just crazy steep and stuff. So we went back and forth. I kind of feel bad about this, but finally I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep hiking. And then several of the other people also decided that. So, I mean, I don't think it's like I somehow influenced them, but I think, like, you know, it's like the straw that breaks the camel's back kind of thing, where it's like it's something slowly moving in one direction, and then there's like one thing that happens and that sets everyone else off. So there was like a lot of us who were like going back and forth. What do we do? Do we not? My feet hurt, but I feel like I should do some miles, etc., etc. And then I like announced, I was like, I'm gonna keep hiking. And then like everyone decided to keep hiking. So we only went, well, not everyone, we kind of split up, but I went 2.5 miles with a few people. I would have preferred to go a little farther, but there was one campsite that it seemed like just a lot of people were aiming for. So I was really concerned about getting there and then not having anything and then having to really keep pushing way farther than I want. So this is good. And then the plan is for tomorrow to hike 15 trail miles and then 1 off trail mile to a water source and then camp at the water source. That way you're not doing 2 extra miles in one day. You just kind of split it up. And then from there, hike into Idlewild. So we kind of had to plan our days out a little bit more than normal because of the water situation. I am carrying a ton of water. I actually technically left with 6 liters. I didn't mean to. I wasn't really thinking that one of the bottles that I chose not to fill up was already full. But basically what I decided was I don't want to have to go off trail 2 miles at all. So some people brought only 2 or 3 liters and then they're going to do 2 extra miles tomorrow at 8 miles in, 10 miles in. They're going to have to go off trail, fill up their water, come back. And I decided for my feet, I'd rather do less walking. So I am carrying the most water of everyone by far, but this way, I don't have to ration. I've drunk a liter on the way, so I have 5 liters. So I have 1 for the morning and then 4 to hike 16 miles, which is plenty. But it is plenty enough that I won't have to ration at all, which is nice. My feet also stopped hurting after the long break at Paradise Valley. I mean, we were there for 4 hours, so that's good too. I really think I've turned a corner, and as long as I'm continuing to keep taking care of them, I just kind of feel like they're going to keep getting better or maybe stay the same, but I think I can handle the same. The last 2 days have been, today was kind of worse, but I was pushing it really hard. But yeah, I think they feel stronger even though they still hurt. They're a weakness of mine, but they're stronger than they were before. Anyways, that got really long, but yeah, I'm at a beautiful spot. Look at this view. Amazing. There's a campsite right here, and I was really tempted to set my tent up here with the best view, but then I thought that it was very, very unprotected from the wind, so I'm in a better protected spot with slightly less of a view, but I get to sit here, so yeah.